For the first time ever, the average cost of a new car in the U.S. topped $50,000. But the good news is the average lifespan of a car is also breaking records.
So what's the new car market looking like for 2026? The trends, the technology that we're going to see?
We're going to see prices elevated to a degree, but also remaining somewhat stable.
Okay, we'll take stable at this point. So stabilization is good. Brian, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Yes. Thank you.
Right now, there are 10 cars you must buy in March 2026. And dealers absolutely hate that I'm about to tell you this, because hidden inside the worst car market in years is something most buyers never see coming: real leverage. The kind that puts thousands of dollars back in your pocket before you even sit down to negotiate. We are talking about brand new cars, sitting on lots, going nowhere. One of them has been collecting dust for nearly 500 days. 500 days. Dealers are bleeding money every single morning. Those cars do not move, and that bleeding is your opportunity. But here is where it gets dangerous. Some of these deals are exactly what they look like: a steal. But some of them are traps, disguised as discounts. And buying the wrong one will not just cost you the money you saved, it will cost you everything attached to it for the next 5 years. So before you step foot on any lot this month, which cars are the opportunity and which ones are the trap waiting to snap shut the moment you sign? Here is one number that will change every single car conversation you have for the rest of your life. It is called market day supply. Once you understand what it actually means, you will never walk into a dealership the same way again. Here is how it works. Day supply tells you exactly how many days it would take a dealer to sell every car they currently have on the lot at the rate they are selling right now. That is it. Simple number. Devastating information. A healthy number sits somewhere between 60 and 90 days. That means the market is balanced. Supply and demand are roughly even. Neither side holds a serious advantage. You negotiate a little, they negotiate a little, and everybody goes home reasonable. But when that number starts climbing above 200, above 300, the entire game changes. The power shifts completely, and it shifts toward you. Here is why. Dealers do not actually own most of the cars sitting on their lots. They are financing them. Every single day, a car sits there unsold. The dealer is paying interest on it. Real money gone. Meanwhile, that brand new car is getting a little less new. Every morning, it does not move. Sun damage, weather, depreciation, hitting before a single customer has even touched the door handle. Think about a grocery store with milk 2 days from expiration. They are not waiting around hoping someone notices. They slash the price, move the product, and cut their losses before it becomes a total disaster. Cars work exactly the same way. When a vehicle hits 300 days, 400 days, 480 days of supply, dealers are not just willing to negotiate. They are desperate to negotiate. They needed that car gone 3 months ago. And desperation means discounts, big ones. The kind that never show up in any advertisement, because the last thing any dealership wants is for you to walk in already knowing how bad they need you to say yes. Every car on this list has a day supply number attached to it. The higher that number, the more money stays in your pocket. Now let's look at who is losing the game the worst. These first 4 vehicles are where the opportunity starts, not where it peaks, where it starts. Because the numbers only get more extreme from here. At number 10 is the BMW 8 Series. Dealers nationwide have just under 2,000 brand new 8 Series sitting on their lots right now. In the last 45 days, they moved 432 of them. That gives it a 207-day supply. The price tag sits at over $110,000. Now, is it a stunning car? Absolutely. Nobody is arguing that. But stunning does not pay floor plan interest. And in a market completely obsessed with SUVs, a Grand Tourer at 6 figures is a very hard sell. Dealers are ready to talk numbers. Make them talk. At number 9, the Hyundai Santa Cruz. 222-day supply. Over 10,000 units sitting across the country, with only about 2,100 moving in the last 45 days. But there is an extra layer of pressure working in your favor here. This vehicle is being discontinued. The moment buyers hear that word, they get nervous about parts, resale value, and long-term support. Dealers know this, and they are stuck with that inventory anyway. Their anxiety is your discount. Number 8 is the Mini Convertible. 224-day supply. Roughly 2,000 units available. Only about 400 sold in the last 45 days. Priced around $45,000. And here is the thing. It is February, one of the coldest winters in years. Nobody is rushing out to buy a drop top with frost on the windshield. That is compact SUV money for a tiny convertible, and the timing could not be worse for Mini. That problem sitting on their lot is your opportunity sitting in your pocket. At number 7, the Maserati Grecale. 232-day supply. 583 units nationwide. Only 113 sold in the last 45 days, at roughly $135,000 each. This was supposed to be the accessible Maserati, the one that brought new buyers into the brand. But accessible and $135,000 do not belong anywhere near the same sentence. Too expensive to be practical. Not prestigious enough to be truly aspirational. Stuck in the middle with nowhere to go. Dealers will absolutely deal. 4 different vehicles, 4 completely different price points, one pattern running through all of them, priced above what buyers believe they are worth. And that gap between price and perceived value is exactly where your leverage lives. This is where dealer pressure stops being uncomfortable and starts being genuinely alarming. The vehicles in this tier are barely moving, and that pressure is exactly what creates serious discounts for buyers who show up knowing their numbers. At number 6, the Buick Envision. 267-day supply. Over 11,000 units on lots nationwide. Fewer than 2,000 sold in the last 45 days. Price around $41,000. And that number is the entire problem. At $41,000, buyers start cross-shopping. They look at entry-level luxury. They look at loaded versions of more popular brands. And when they run that comparison, the Envision does not come out on top. It is not a bad vehicle. It just cannot justify that price against the competition sitting right next to it. Buick hoped this would land differently. It did not. 11,000 sitting units are proving it every single day. At number 5, the Audi S3 sedan. 318-day supply. Nearly a full year of inventory based on how slowly these are moving. Here is the detail that says everything. Only 552 of these exist for sale nationwide. Limited supply. And dealers still cannot move them. Just 78 sold in the last 45 days at around $58,800. When a car is rare and still will not sell, the market is sending a message. If you want an S3, walk in showing genuine interest, and they will not let you leave without a deal on the table. They cannot afford to let you walk. At number 4, the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Coupe. 365 days of supply. A full year of inventory based on current sales pace. 778 units available. Only 96 buyers in the last 45 days decided $150,000 was worth it. The rest walked away. Even serious money is thinking twice about flashy purchases right now. The market has spoken, and it is not screaming yes. Before we get to the top 3, where desperation reaches a completely different level, download the free ebook, Avoid These 17 Cars in 2026. Depreciation data, reliability scores, the exact models mechanics see week after week. The link is in the description. Grab it before you step foot on any lot. This is where desperation lives. The top 3 slowest selling vehicles in America right now. These are not cars that are struggling a little. These are cars that dealers are practically giving away just to clear floor space and stop the bleeding. At number 3, the Dodge Charger, a 460-day supply, 5,721 brand new Chargers sitting on lots across the country. Only 634 moved in the last 45 days, at around $56,595. Dodge bet everything on this redesign. They made noise, they ran the ads, they built anticipation, and buyers are simply not biting at these prices. The inventory keeps stacking, and the floor plan interest keeps running. If you have wanted a Charger, March 2026 is your moment. That window will not stay open forever. At number 2, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer, a 463-day supply, 4,510 units ready for sale nationwide. Only 438 were sold in the last 45 days, at around $85,200. This is Jeep's flagship luxury SUV, and it is supposed to compete with Range Rover and Escalade. But here is the brutal truth. Jeep does not carry the badge weight those names carry. Buyers at $85,000 know exactly what they are choosing between, and right now, they are not choosing the Grand Wagoneer. Massive discounts are not coming. They are already here, and growing by the day. And the number 1 slowest selling vehicle in America for the second month in a row is the Volkswagen ID.4, 480-day supply, nearly a year and a half of inventory sitting on lots, 1,482 units. Only 139 sold in the last 45 days at nearly $50,000 each. Here is what makes this number extraordinary. There was a moment, not long ago, when the ID.4 was one of the fastest selling vehicles in this entire country, September 2025. Then the federal electric vehicle tax credit vanished overnight and sales fell completely off a cliff. Without that government incentive, the math stopped working for most buyers. Just like that. 1,482 headaches on Volkswagen lots with no clear cure in sight. 3 vehicles, 3 completely different stories, 1 shared outcome. Dealers are sweating, and that sweat is your leverage. But before you move on those numbers, you need to hear the warning first. Here is the part that most buyers get completely wrong, and it is the mistake that turns a great-looking deal into a financial disaster that follows you for years. Day supply gives you leverage. That is real. Those numbers are not made up, and the dealer pressure behind them is not exaggerated. But leverage on the wrong car does not save you money. It accelerates the damage. A 20% discount on a vehicle bleeding 40% of its value every 2 years is not a win. It is just a slower version of losing. Here's the distinction that changes everything. Some cars are slow sellers because of timing or perception, the wrong season, a category that fell out of fashion, a price point sitting just slightly above where the market wants it right now. Nothing structurally broken. Nothing fundamentally wrong with ownership. Just a mismatch between supply and the current moment. Those are genuine opportunities. Buy them right, negotiate hard, and you walk away ahead. But other cars are slow sellers because the market already figured something out. Something the sticker price and the showroom lighting are both working very hard to hide. Catastrophic depreciation curves that start the moment you leave the lot. Maintenance costs that make the monthly payment look like the easy part. Reliability problems showing up consistently in real owner data, not in brochures, not in press releases, in the actual experience of people who bought these vehicles and are now living with the consequences. The discount on those cars is not an opportunity. It is a costume. It is a sale tag draped over a money pit specifically designed to make you feel like you won something before the real cost of ownership reveals itself in year 2, year 3, year 4. So before you move on any number from this list, you need to ask yourself one question. Is this car sitting on the lot because of a timing problem or an ownership cost problem? One of those answers makes you money. The other hands use someone else's nightmare wrapped in a red bow. 5 cars from this list fall into the second category. Here is exactly which ones and why. These are the 5 cars where the deal is real and the damage is realer. Every single one of them earned a place on this list for reasons that have nothing to do with the discount and everything to do with what comes after it. First, the Maserati Grecale. Yes, dealers will cut you a deal. No, you should not take it. Maserati depreciation is legendary, and not in a good way. These cars lose value faster than almost anything else on the road. Maintenance costs rival Ferrari, without Ferrari resale value to justify them. You are buying the badge without the investment holding up underneath it. The discount you negotiate on day 1 will not come close to covering what ownership costs by year 3. Second, the Volkswagen ID.4. The depreciation on these is catastrophic. Used ID. 4 models are already selling for half their original sticker price. Half. Without the federal tax credit propping up the math, buying one new today means watching your money evaporate in real time. The 480-day supply number is not just a negotiating tool. It is the market telling you something you need to listen to. Third, the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Reliability concerns are appearing consistently in early owner data. You are paying Range Rover money and receiving Jeep residuals. The fuel economy drinks like a small yacht. The discount you receive at signing will not cover what this vehicle costs to own across 3 years of real life. Fourth, the Mercedes-Benz AMG GT Coupe. That $150,000 price tag is just the opening act. AMG maintenance is expensive and constant. Insurance premiums are through the roof. 2 seats means almost zero practicality. Specialty sports car. Depreciation hits hard and fast, and you will lose tens of thousands before you have even properly broken it in. Fifth, the BMW 8 Series. German luxury depreciation meets niche appeal in the worst possible combination. Out of warranty, maintenance costs can exceed your monthly payment. You are looking at $15,000 or more in lost value every single year you own it. The discount looks great standing at the front door. It stops looking great the moment you see what is waiting behind it. A good deal on the wrong car is still a bad deal. Know the difference before you sign anything. Now you have the data. Here is exactly how to use it. 5 tactics that shift every conversation in the showroom completely in your favor before a single word gets negotiated. First, know the numbers before you walk in. Check the day supply on any vehicle you are considering before you ever set foot on that lot. When you sit down across from a salesperson and you can tell them exactly how long their inventory has been sitting, everything in that room changes. They know you have done your homework. They know you understand your leverage. Information is power, and dealers have enormous respect for buyers who come prepared because those buyers are the ones they cannot bluff. Second, be willing to walk. This is the single most powerful tool you have in that building, and it costs you absolutely nothing to use. Dealers sitting on 300, 400, 480 days of inventory cannot afford to lose a serious buyer. They need you more than you need them. Stand up, thank them for their time, and move toward the door. Silence and patience are your best friends in that showroom. Let them sweat. That discomfort is working directly in your favor. Third, target end of month and end of quarter. Sales quotas create pressure that stacks directly on top of inventory pressure. Slow-moving stock plus a looming deadline equals the maximum possible discount. Time your visit deliberately. That timing is not a small detail. It is real money. Fourth, Get competing quotes. Email multiple dealers. Be upfront about exactly what you are doing. Let them bid against each other for your business. The moment you fall in love with one specific car at one specific dealership, you lose all negotiating power instantly. Stay detached. Stay completely strategic. Fifth, calculate total cost of ownership before you calculate anything else. That discounted luxury car that looks like a steal today, what does it actually cost in year 3 when maintenance bills start arriving? Factor in insurance. Factor in real fuel numbers. Factor in depreciation. A full-price Honda might cost you less over 5 years than a discounted German car, bleeding value every single month. Focus on total cost, not just the sticker. That is how you walk in with the upper hand. That is how you leave with a deal instead of a story about the deal that cost you everything. Here is where everything we covered today comes into sharp focus. 10 cars where dealers are desperate and your leverage is real and documented. 5 cars where the discount is a costume draped over an ownership cost problem that will follow you for years. And 1 number, market day supply. That changes every dealership conversation you will ever have from this point forward. The market is moving right now. Inventory shifts every single month. Incentives appear and disappear overnight. The federal tax credit that once made the ID.4 one of the fastest-selling vehicles in America vanished and took the demand with it. New models pile up on lots while old ones finally clear. The data that hands you maximum leverage today may look completely different in 30 days. Stay informed or pay the price that comes with showing up uninformed. Here is the truth underneath all of it. Desperation cuts both ways. A dealer bleeding floor plan interest on 480 days of unsold inventory is genuinely motivated to make you a deal. That pressure is real, and it is yours to use. But desperation pricing on the wrong vehicle does not save you money. It just makes the damage feel cheaper at the moment of signing, before the real cost of ownership shows up and starts collecting what you thought you saved. The winners on this list are the cars with a timing problem. The losers are the cars with an ownership cost problem wearing a discount as a disguise. Every single vehicle we covered today falls into one of those 2 categories. Know which is which before you sit down anywhere near a contract. Before you step foot in any dealership, download the free ebook, Avoid These 17 Cars in 2026. It contains depreciation charts that show exactly which vehicles hold value and which ones crater. It includes reliability data pulled from actual owners who are living with these cars right now. It lists the specific models mechanics see on their lifts week after week. It also highlights the cars that insurance companies already charge a premium on, because insurers know something you are about to find out. The link is in the description. Download it, read it, then go negotiate. The dealer's desperation is real. Make absolutely sure it works for you and not against you.